Hey, what's up, guys? It is let's see, Tuesday night here, and as you can see, we're outside. I know I'm kind of backlit, sun's coming through the trees a little bit. If you're watching this on the replay, I just want to say real quick, this is a live stream, so you may be watching it in the future and it may be just kind of seem unorganized and shaky cam, that kind of thing. So I'm just giving you a heads up. If you're watching it on the replay, that's why this video is, the production quality of it is not as good as my regular videos. So anyway, I see we got some people joining here. So anyway, I think you can see back there behind me that I've made some progress. The last live stream, I got a lot of really great feedback, and I'm getting so many comments and suggestions and things coming in. I really can't get to all of them and acknowledge all of them. And I think I had a new subscriber named Paul that wrote me a really long comment, and it ended up in the spam comments. I noticed it earlier. It had a lot of great information in it. A lot of you guys, hey Craig, good to see you. A lot of you guys have had a lot of great suggestions, so I thought I'd just show you a little bit about what I've done so far since the last live update. And I've got some 6-inch sheet metal screws, and I'm gonna go ahead and put those in there. So anyway, let me just take you and show you what I've done so far, or since, what was that, Sunday, 2 days ago, I think. Now some of you guys are going to be disappointed in what I did, but let me see what we got here. Well, let me just take you off the tripod and walk you up and show you closer. Some people said, you know, hey, no problem on notching out those beams. Other people said, you know, don't notch them. In fact, Paul, the guy I was just mentioning there, said not to notch them out. But I went ahead and notched them because I want this, you know, I want this to be straight down. I mean, I know those bolt heads are there. I'll grind most of those off and get them flat so that my sheeting can go all the way up. But anyway, you can see I got 4 of the cross purlins in there, joists, I guess. I don't know all the terminology, honestly guys, I'm sorry, I don't know all the terminology. And I've got one more that's sitting right there on the trailer, and I will let me get my finger out of the way. I'll get it up there and get it welded in. But anyway, these are all welded in. You can see I got my welder drug out here, and I made up a little cord. And you know, you guys that are a little squeamish, you might not want to look. I unhooked my air compressor and tapped into this 30-amp breaker to run this 50-amp welder. Of course, it's only 14 gauge, so you know, I was running it on low. But anyway, so you can see I got let me see if you can see this. See, I got that welded in there, and got penetration through it. You know, it's MIG welding. A lot of you guys had I was worried about, you know, welding out here in the outside with the MIG and the gas and all. I was thinking about getting some flux core wire, but a lot of people pointed out, you know, hey, no problem as long as it's not super windy, which normally in Texas it's fairly windy, but in the dead middle of summer, August, like it is right now, it's 6 o'clock here, and it's still, I don't know what it is, 95 degrees. You probably can see I'm sweating like a mofo out here. But anyway, so I drug this out here. I turned the gas up on it and didn't have any problems at all with you know, shielding gas getting blown out. The main issue I had was hey, what's up, Curly? Hey, Cecil. Yeah, Cecil's pointing out my electrical work there. But anyway, I've got the welder on the down on the 14 gauge setting, which, you know, should be fine for a 30-amp breaker. And I checked it, you know, especially for these little 1.5 or 2-inch little welds I was doing. But I was checking my my little cord that I made, just you know, feeling of it after I welded to see if it had gotten hot, and it wasn't at all. I mean, other than just the ambient temperature out here being hot. It's in the shade right now, but I was out here working on it most of the day during the day. Yeah, Carrie Lemary, I know you're an electrician, so you probably are not real happy about seeing me do that. But anyway, I'm gonna, just from an electrical point of view, I am going to knock out some of the holes, at least one of the holes in the bottom, and 2 more breakers, 20 amp or 15 amp, whatever breakers in here, and 1 220 amp breaker there for the AC, and the 2 breakers going in there for that are going to be 20 amp, one for just some outlets in here, a couple of outlets, and the other one will be for all the lights. I've got 8 of the 4-foot LEDs, and all those will go in here, and they'll all go on 120 amp breaker, and shouldn't be a problem with that. And the only other thing I need to wire up is the motor for the fan, which will be mounted on this wall right here, and my main fuse box is right here, you know, behind there. So I'm probably going to drill out, or you know, probably come out right here and have a switch right here for the 3-phase to turn that fan on and off, a breaker or a shut-off switch like the one down here on my air compressor. I hate to spend the money for this. I think this box was about $100, but I'll just have a box like that to shut the fan on and off with, and the entry door is going to be right here, so it'll be right beside the entry door, so no problem on getting access to it. But if you guys have any other thoughts on that, you know, let me know that in the comments down there. So anyway, let me get the tripod up here, and I'll show you what I was gonna work on real quick out here tonight. I had ordered these from Amazon, and they came in sometime this afternoon, and so I'll take you over, and we'll take a look at what I'm doing. All right, guys, I think hopefully it reconnected. Somebody just tried to call my number, and I think normally when you do a live stream off of a phone, you're supposed to put it in airplane mode or some kind of mode, but it looks like you guys are still here and it reconnected me, so that's good. Exactly, Craig. Phone calls. It was a local number, so it could have been a customer calling me to give me a job. But it's after 5 o'clock, after 6 o'clock. So okay, let me see what Curly's saying here. And again, if you're watching this on a replay, just keep in mind, yeah, Craig, maybe it will be. They just left me a voicemail, so I'll check it after we're done here. But so I have 6-inch sheet metal screws here, and if you guys remember, there's blocking that goes up against the indentions of the R panel, and those are sheet metal screwed into the purlin of my shop, and then I had to put another spacer behind that and wood screwed it to those blocks. And then these are just in a few places wood screwed down to yet the blocks, if that makes any sense. And I really hated how that was, and I don't really feel like it's very secure, and I wanted it to be more secure. So I got these 6-inch long sheet metal screws. I think they're number number 14s, I thought is what they were. And before I put the panels and all up on there, when these are just walls, I had gone and marked good locations to drill all the way through. And I've got a video coming up that I filmed a few days ago that's going to be on the channel. But I bought a few new Hewitt drill organizer cabinets, and I just kind of went through some drill bits that I had bought a long time ago off eBay. I bought like a lot of 300. Most of them were like a jobber size, I don't know, some oddball size. I can't remember if it was 3/16. It wasn't that. It was a 64th of some kind, but there's about 100 and something in there, all brand new, and I use them to drill pilots. Well, the point I'm trying to make is that lot of 300 something drill bits came with about 20 of these extra long. Let me put my readers on where I can see this. It looks like 11/64 is what that is, but it's, you know, it's about as long as these screws, so it's a 6-inch long drill bit. So I'm gonna run that and get that, you know, penetrated and pierced through the sheet metal, and then I'm gonna see if I can run these screws in. So I'll let you guys come along here. I'll get you in a little bit closer where you can see what I'm doing. Forgive me for looking straight into the camera with my big ugly face. So some of you guys that, you know, watch the channel may recognize that I picked these up a little while back, the M18 Fuel drill and impact, and also got two of the I bought two of the grinders as well that use the M18 Fuel. Anyway, so I'm pausing because I see the comments coming in. I see Craig's comment in there. But anyway, what made me get those grinders was one day I was I had my regular DeWalt grinder, and I was cutting up some offcuts on the plasma table after I'd finished, you know, using up most of a sheet. And so I just had the regular corded grinder. Yeah, thanks, Boo Boo. Are you trying to say I'm dumb and I need the glasses, or what are you trying to say? Anyway, what made me talk about somebody that's smart. Now, this guy Boo Boo that's commenting on there, I think he's left some of my most wise ass comments of anybody that I've on the channel. I mean, he's up there in my top 5 for sure. And but the cool thing about him is I know he's doing it in fun, and he's pretty sharp on the comments there. Some other wise guys are just jerks. So, but you know, that's how it goes when you're doing this. But anyway, the M18 grinder, I was telling you about that. I had my one of my yellow corded grinders, the DeWalt ones, and I was, you know, running around the table nipping off some little cuts, and I saw that the cord had draped into the water on the plasma table, and right above it was a bare wire on the cord showing. So I'm sure I was probably insulated, but I mean, it kind of, I'm not, as you guys have seen from watching the videos, I'm not really that much of a safety guy. But when I saw the cord in the water and I was using the grinder, and part of the cord had gotten exposed because a hot spark had come off the plasma table and melted it down to the wire, because I was keeping it near the plasma table just to use it. And so now I have the M18 Fuel. I got 4 batteries, the grinder, or 2 grinders, and the drill and the impact. So hey Ray, what's going on, man? Anyway, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I came and marked these where I wanted to drill them in places where I knew that there were no other screws behind this, that it was a good clean shot to get through there. So anyway, instead of just rambling on and on and on, I'm gonna go ahead and drill this, and you know, we'll see how this goes here live. You know, I'm used to doing all my fabrication work, filming it, but then you know, I'm the editor, so if I don't like something, I can just go edit it out. And when you're live, you're live. So if I mess this up or this doesn't go well, then you're gonna see it. All right, that's scaring me a little bit. I got these 6-inch long guys, and this one didn't even go through to the metal to get all the way through, so these screws may not be long enough, but we're about to find out. All right, it looks like it felt like it went in there, but I don't know if it actually, I don't know if it made it to the purlin. It didn't feel like it, you know, it did. So I'm gonna go grab, I'll take you guys with me. We're running in the shop real quick and get a larger drill bit. Whoops, sorry about the putting the finger on it there. I had a guy come in, hey, Retro Weld Douglas, what's up, man? I had a guy come in earlier today that he came from Waco, Texas, and a lot of you guys, even though Waco's a fairly small town, it's a little bit bigger than the town I live in, but the you know, it's famous because the David Koresh and all that. But anyway, I'm gonna get this and get out. I'm gonna grab a larger drill bit to so that I can countersink that in there. Let's see, probably just grab something like this right here. So let's get back out before we lose our signal because of the shop. But anyway, this guy came from Waco, and I'd been working with him on his CAD. He's a retired, like an aircraft engineer. And he came over today, and he wanted to watch the plasma table. What was that, Ray? Ray, could you ask your oh, Ray was asking about the door sign. Sorry, Ray, I may have deleted your message, but let me go back. Yeah, I've had the front door to the shop. I've had this this sign on there for ever since I've had the shop. You don't see it a lot in videos because you know, you don't really see me going in and out of the door. But I actually have videos on that sign. There's a stop motion animation video, and there's a couple of paint videos. There's a clear epoxy primer video that I used to put on that sign. I think I made probably at least 3 videos. You guys may notice that a lot of times, you know, when I'm working on a larger project, I will break out, you know, little sub videos of different things that I think may be interesting to people. You know, like for example, I was showing you guys earlier this welding cord that I made up here. You know, I've got this longer extension cable, Travis, and I think even Retro Weld Douglas. I mean, a lot of people have asked me about this 25-foot long 50 amp welding extension cable that you can get on Amazon or eBay. Well, I needed to get power out here to the shop, so I didn't want to, you know, mess up the end of my good cable that's got these molded ends on it here. So I just made up, I had this SO cord laying around the shop, and it's 14 gauge, and I just put that plug on one end and then wired it into a breaker for the air compressor that's right down there, the blue one that I'm not using, so that I could get power out here to weld. And so you can see I welded those purlins in place there, just with the, you know, my MIG welder. But anyway, guys, I'm kind of, you know, going all over the place. Earlier today, I took some GNC pre-workout stuff to give me, you know, it's kind of like a 5-hour energy or a Red Bull or something like that. Just because, you know, sometimes when you eat lunch and you've been working in the heat all day, you're kind of lethargic and you're not really excited about getting out there. But I got to get this thing finished, and I needed a little extra pick-me-up, but it's got me kind of wired up now. But I'm kind of like distracted and doing a little bit of this and doing a little bit of that. But that's kind of how it is around here. Anyway, I am going to pre-drill this. My long drill bit, I'm going to take it out. Probably drilled that in a little bit too far, but so we'll see how it goes this time. I'm going to take this guy, and I had one of those torque screws I was using earlier today out here. So I can just get a little bit more length. But it looks like I needed 7-inch sheet metal screws. Yeah, they're just burning rubber. You guys know I'm on a main highway here. That's the highway right there. So that's one of the good things about the highway is, you know, you get quick access to get where you need to go. But the bad part about it is just all the traffic and the noise. Anyway, I'm gonna have to come up with a different plan here. I may need to get a little bit longer drill bit because I pretty much was rounding the head off of that one. This one here, I don't think made it into the, it was starting to round out too. But I need to pre-drill that purlin because these are not, if you look at this, let me get one out. Let me put you back on the tripod. Craig says I don't need them all. I probably don't. You see this type of, this is a sheet metal screw, but I don't know, is that self-tapping when it's got that kind of point? I mean, the normal like tech screws or the little small self-tappers have what looks like a little drill bit on the head of them. So we got two people saying that I don't really need these in here. I probably don't. I mean, it feels, you know, solid, and once all the walls up, this will be fine as a freestanding structure. So you guys are probably right. It's a wood tap screw. Okay. So anyway, I saw one comment that flew up there. Somebody was asking about the how tall my my ceilings were. Let me just back away and show you this a little bit. Okay, Ray, appreciate that. Anyway, one of the things I did that took me quite a while was let me find one and show you. Let me get this clamp up. Well, I don't know what I did with it, but one of the things that I did was I cut some little pieces of purlin, like that, but smaller. And let me try to get this where you can see it. And I went ahead and just clamped a piece of it to the top there to simulate what this would look like. And then I pulled a string from the top of that cap plate right there to the top of that cap plate. If you can see it, you know what I'm saying. So that I had my height, and then I adjusted, you know, then I adjusted where this is bolted here. So effectively I get this back wall right here, and the end wall here are all, the top of them are all at the same height with the top of the purlins. So my sheets, you know, I'll use wood screws, you know, or the sheet metal screws that go into wood on the ends going into the wood on the roof panels. And then in the ones, you know, on the purlins going across, I'll use just the regular metal screws. But inside here, you know, you can see that I've got an extra 8 inches of ceiling height inside of here. And so I have over 8 feet here on this corner to the you know, to where the bottom of the ceiling will be, and I have just under 8 feet here. I want to say that's about 7 feet 4 inches where my ceiling is going to be on this far wall here. So it's a little bit, you know, short on this end. But let me go back. The rate of the drop across there is pretty consistent. You'll be able to see that when I back away with my building. Can see that. See, that looks fairly, you know, consistent there. I can tell you that it's 20 feet from the center of my building to the edge, and the drop is 11.6 in the middle to 10. It's 11.6 at the center, and 10 feet at the edge here. So it's you know, 1 foot 6 inch drop across there, and I have about a 1 foot 2 inch drop across 17.5 feet. And honestly, guys, how I did that is I knew it needed to be somewhere in that range. So this back wall, I used 92.5 inch studs here, and this, you know, which will create an 8 foot wall. And I use with the 8 foot wall with the standard, you know, single bottom plate and the cap plate like that. And then on the back, I used 108 foot studs, 108 inch studs. which again give you a 9-foot wall. So I didn't want to cut a whole bunch of studs up. I don't know, maybe I'm being a little bit lazy by doing that. So anyway, I saw a bunch of comments come through. You know, I do these live feeds on my phone, and when they scroll up, I can see them, but then they go away and I'll miss them. So and I know some of you guys are kind of talking back and forth to each other, and if you're watching this on a replay, then you're probably like, what, huh, how come you keep looking at the camera talking? So if you're watching this on a replay, I'm looking at the comments in the live stream come up, and unfortunately you can't see the comments on the replay. The chat room comments that happen on a live stream you can't see on the replay. All right, guys, I don't have a lot else to show you. So yeah, sun deck on top, it's exactly what I need. There's plenty of sun out here for sure. Man, it's been a hot one today. I don't know what the temp out here was, but I was working in the main part of the day and welding, and I would come out here and work for like, you know, 30, 45 minutes and then go back in. I don't really see how these guys that do this kind of work every day for a living, get up at the crack of dawn and you know, and do this kind of stuff. I don't get it. You know, I don't see how somebody can do that kind of work every day, day in and day out. I mean, because I'm doing it for like a day or two, you know, here and there, just for a few hours at a time. And Ray, would you quit bragging about your temperature in Wisconsin? Come on now. I mean, we know you got the Harleys, we know you got the nice man cave shop out there, and then you want to go ahead and brag about your temperature. So it's enough of that. All right, anyway, so I was just saying, I don't know how these guys that do this, you know, kind of structural welding, and I was just kidding with you, Ray. I don't know how they do it, you know, especially in a climate like this, you know, when it's hot. I don't see it. I don't get it. And anyway, that's why I have AC in the shop, and that's why I've worked hard to get, you know, to where I can do that kind of work and not be in the field. You guys got any questions for me or any comments? I'll just look at the screen here and see if anything comes up. Yeah, they have the drive to do it. I get it. You know, and I guess if that's your job, it's the only job you know, and that's what you do. You just wake up and do it, you know, and that's how you make your money. That's how you provide for your family. And I guess we all can get conditioned to do it, you know, and it's just what you're used to. Yeah, I see Craig there talking about making the fiberglass in the sun. Any other questions or thoughts or anything? Can I get you guys to hit the thumbs up for me? I'd appreciate that. It helps on the live stream if you get thumbs up. I've got 43 people watching and only 12 thumbs up. Hey, Roland Anderson asking about my son. Interesting. He's doing good. He's got a doctor appointment tomorrow, and me and him, I'm going to see him tomorrow. And then he's thinking about taking off next Monday to come down here and help me on the shop. And then we're going to work on his manifold for the Mustang. He's converting over from the twin turbo on the Supra engine, the 2JZ, over to a single turbo. And he's had a manifold down here for me to work on for probably, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months. But I've just been so busy, and I spend all my extra time out here doing this or making videos, which hopefully will lead to some money. And I just honestly haven't taken the time to do it. And I'm behind on, I've had a whole bunch of sponsors send me different things to check out. Most of it really inexpensive stuff, little packs of drill bits, and Banggood.com. Some of you may know them. They sent me some lathe tooling, so I need to make a video showing those. And hopefully, you know, starting out making little small sponsor videos will eventually lead to bigger videos with nicer equipment, and eventually somebody that'd be willing to pay me to make a video. But I need to do a better job of, you know, showcasing the product. But I really feel bad about, you know, if somebody sends me a product to check out for free, a $400 saw, I mean, you kind of feel obligated to get a free saw to make it look good. But really, my allegiance is to all you guys that watch the channel, you know, and it's just, so I tried to show it as good as I could, but then there were some things glaring about it that really, you know, need to be addressed. And you could see other people commenting as well, that were agreeing with some of the issues about it. And so I just try to be fair and honest and present it in a positive light, but also, you know, make the product look as good and set it up to, you know, so that it looks good in video. And the deck on that saw is a noticeable improvement over the DeWalt. The DeWalt's a good saw. You guys have seen me make hundreds of videos using that DeWalt. But you saw how much more accurate the Evo saw, the cuts were on that, you know, for sure. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna this has been going about 30 minutes, and I'm trying to keep these live streams to about 30 minutes. So I just was messing around out here. I got those screws in. Amazon or UPS or whoever delivered them late in the day, and I was gonna come back out and pop those in. Obviously, you see that didn't go very well, so I need to pre-drill a hole in that to get those to go through. But some of you are saying I don't need to do that, so we'll see about that. You guys got any comments or anything for me? Yeah, JC Smith Projects. Yeah, I'll do Sunday morning. I'm probably going to do Saturday or Sunday morning live streams, and then one evening during the week, you know, 6 p.m. my time, which is Central Time Zone in the U.S. I know we got people watching from all over. But I think the live streams are kind of cool, you know. I mean, you get to see the real deal. Put a header above the AC unit. Yeah, I think, Craig, you mentioned that the other day. I definitely will do that. Any other comments or suggestions or questions? Build in walls before you put any more weight. Yes, old school, definitely. And old school, you sent me an email a few days ago, and I got that. Guys, I'm getting bombarded with, you know, questions and comments and emails, and I appreciate every one of them, and I try to get back to as many of them as I can. Yes, there's a great point that old school just made, to put the end walls up before I get the ceiling on there. And you know, and I thought about that when I was up there today, that really needed to be the case. I don't think, I mean, these things are pretty lightweight. I don't think it's going to put too much stress on it to have them on there, but that's my next step. I have one more purlin to get up there and weld on. I just got too hot out here doing that today, so I'll do that in the morning when it's cool. And then I'm going to start on the end walls, and then I'm going to go get the panels to put the roof on. And like I said, Matt's going to come down and help me. So I'll probably get those panels this week and have those available for him to help me with it when he gets here. So I'm going to have more questions about, you can see I left these end purlins long here. You know, what do you guys think? My exhaust fan's going to be right here, so it might be kind of helpful to have an extended overhang here to get some shelter over that exhaust fan. But what do you guys think about that? Let me know what you think about it. And let me know what you think about that. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I know, yeah, Ray, that'd be awesome if you were closer and I had other guys that were closer to help me. I've got one guy named Cody that doesn't live too far away that's offered to bring me a door that's a little nicer than the one I have. It's more of an industrial type door, so I'll see about that. But Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you go, and I will see you guys on the next one. I got more videos of just shop stuff and random activity. You're gonna see those coming up here when I get them edited. I'm in Texas, south of Dallas, 50 miles into Corsicana. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. See ya. An inside door to the shop, yeah, that's one thing I've considered, but I didn't really want to, you know, I didn't want to have to break through, and there's a purlin that runs 6 feet tall. That purlin would have to be cut and, you know, moved up and over. There's wiring, a lot of wiring on this back wall right here. The bandsaw, the lathe, the 2 milling machines, they're all down this back wall. And it would just be a lot to put a door. It would be handy to have, but then, you know, you're gonna have paint fumes and things coming into the shop. I like this better. I think I would end up getting lazy and, you know, leaving that door open, and this just seals it off out here and makes it all separate. So for now, I'm just gonna keep it this way. Anyway, guys, I said I was gonna end earlier. I'm really gonna end this time. See you guys.